Good morning. Good morning. It's 11 o'clock Central Time here in Houston, Texas. Friends, it's been a while. And thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about what the $3.5 trillion budget resolution of the House just passed. Now, you may have heard from others that this is great news. This is just one small step, but very important step on the path to immigration reform. So stay tuned all the way to the end because there are a lot more updates related to immigration. All right, friends, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting. Here I'm going to share with you our screen here about the immigration reform here. Here we go, the bill, the proposal here. I just switched up to a Mac Mini. So now I'm trying to figure out which tab to show with you. Okay, here it is. Window, Safari. I think that's it right there. Great. I'm supposed to give permission. Okay. All right. Well, $3.5 trillion. Now, they talk about this qualified immigrant. There's really no specific details about that right now, or provisional immigrant. What they have said, essential workers, farm workers, dreamers, and TPS. Now, those are the core groups of people that Congress wants to help. Now, I say Congress, broadly right now, we all know that Republicans, pretty much, unfortunately, 99% of them are against pro-immigration, which is strange if you know anything about the past, at least 20 years ago, as far back as George W. Bush, which was before President Obama. He was for at least immigration reform and a guest worker program, but that fell through. And even through his dad, George H.W. Bush, he was pro-immigration as well, and they're both Republicans. So the tune has changed in the past 20 years with Republicans, and that's why I highly recommend you contact your elected official, politician. It does not matter if you have immigration status or not, to contact them. And friends, what you can do is you go down to our website, greencardguys.com. We do have resources so you can find out who to contact. Now, if you're interested for a sample letter, please let us know. Fill out our intake form in the description box. It starts with Ting Law, and we'll be happy to send it to you. Okay. Now, I know I got some questions. I'll definitely get to those in a second. Thanks for bearing with me. I miss y'all. How are y'all doing? It's been a while. You might know if my wife had a baby a month and a half ago. So it's just, of course, a lot tougher to go live very often like I did before. Hey, if you're a parent, drop in the comments. Let me know how many kids you have. We've got 2. So we're just trying to make it happen, surviving during the pandemic. So here it is. I don't know why it won't let me share. I need to figure this out. So here it's talking about how it's going to be a challenge. Okay. Maybe other immigration lawyers don't know so much about the political process, but if you remember watching my shows from January, starting January when President Biden was in, everyone was thinking that immigration reform was going to happen like that month. I didn't think that at all. I thought at the earliest it could have been August, which here we are in August, and just in time. Now, I cannot predict the future. I just got lucky, but immigration reform has not passed. I will tell you, though, it's good news. It's positive that the Senate first actually passed this budget resolution, and now the House already passed it. People already, of course, assumed that the House would pass anything related to immigration, but don't get ahead of yourselves. This budget resolution contains a lot of provisions. A lot of money will be spent, $3.5 trillion, which, by the way, speaking about money, I'm here in Houston, Texas. As you might know, the governor here is Greg Abbott, and he's proposed to spend at least 1.3, 1.5 trillion. I'm pretty sure it's trillion. Let me double check here if I can pull my email here. It's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. And he's trying to put it towards the border wall. Okay. And there's already money already proposed or approved 2 years ago in Texas to spend money at the border. So as you can imagine, these Republicans think that people still care about the border wall. Of course, we want security, national security, especially as what's going on now within Afghanistan, which regardless of Republican or Democrat, people, Americans, the government needs to help people, Americans leaving Afghanistan, but also the Afghanis who helped American soldiers through this entire 20 years at the war over there. So at least there's already a special immigrant visa. So by the way, if you know any people moving in who are Afghanis or just friends who are connected with the Afghani community, please let them know. They probably already know this, but a lot of nonprofits are trying to help gather resources, and there is something called special immigrant visa for Afghani and Iraqi interpreters. Okay, but the problem is it's just a slow process. As you probably know, if you already filed an application, you probably would be waiting for at least a year or more. We actually had some good news today that one of our clients in India, before a couple months ago, was not able to get his visa. Who knows why the consulate or embassy doesn't want to issue a stamp, the visa stamp, or just a visa in general in the passport, when everything looks straightforward. It should have been done at that moment or that week, but they wait 2 to 3 months. They ask for a 221 or give a 221G document notice and say, hey, we need more documents, even though you likely already gave those documents. So we were able to solve his case. He got his visa today, and we're very happy that he got it. He's very excited as well. So I'm sorry that was a little sidetrack. Yeah, drop in the comments. Let me know if you're a parent, how many kids you got, or if you're not a parent, let me know where you're watching from. So one that I want to share with you also is I should enlarge this, but there's also a bill proposed by a Democrat out of Texas, Henry Cuellar. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, but he's in the committee of the Judiciary Committee, or at least he's proposed this bill into the Judiciary Committee, Homeland Security, and the Ways and Means and Foreign Affairs. And what this bill does, they call it a bipartisan bill. But unfortunately, there's only 5 co-sponsors. Okay, there's only 5. There's, I think, 2 Republicans. So I should have enlarged my screen. My keyboard's on the other side. Yeah, there's at least, actually, I see 3. Wait, no, 4. 4 are Republicans, and only 1 is a Democrat, and that's him as the one of the joint sponsors, the main sponsor. Okay, and what this bill does is it's going to establish regional centers for conducting immigration-related activities and address other related issues. And so what I take from that is, everyone who's in part of the Remain in Mexico program is going to go through this kind of regional center. So it would be in the United States, and that can process all these asylum-related cases, and they go through something called credible fear interview. And as you might know, you may have heard in the news this past week or two that the Supreme Court, unfortunately, the United States Supreme Court reinstated the Remain in Mexico program for people who are seeking asylum. So regardless of which country they're coming from, they are remaining in Mexico. So this is one way that, and I that's why I believe this bill is bipartisan. Okay, so, and why is this relevant to you? This is relevant because if Congress can work together on something like this, This is part of the broader national security policy. That's what I believe. If I were in office, if I were a Republican, I would believe this is a good, strong step forward by Democrats. Say, even though they're not in Mexico, first of all, Republicans didn't care that people who were seeking asylum before were in the United States before or not. They only care now because former President Trump made it a big deal. And because the media talked about it, of course, or continues to talk about it, it makes it seem like people care about it, if people are in Mexico or not. It's better that they're in the United States seeking asylum. And here's the most important reason why. It's not just a humane reason. That's obvious, right? The main thing is that people need legal representation. Okay, when people have come to my office before when we accept an asylum case, which by the way, we don't anymore, but we do have very good attorneys, of course, can't promise outcome for you, that only practice asylum. So we're happy to help you, point you in the right direction with those attorneys. But anyway, if you're seeking asylum, even if you already filed your application, I'll share a story with you. Like, for example, people come into our office, have come into office pre-pandemic, and I look at their application, and either a notary tried to help them, and just everything was butchered. All the information is just maybe incorrect, or, we really take the time. Although I do offer the free 15 minutes, and I'll share the secret code in a second, a case like this, if it's related to asylum, attorneys need to spend thorough time, and they do. The lawyers I know do a good job. And to spend a thorough time reviewing your facts, your immigration history, the reasons why you may have left your country. And it's very important because I tell you, every time I've had a trial, the government attorney does a very good job. They're trained very well. At least I think they are, because the attorneys that I've faced for the government, they ask questions that are like, why would they ask that? Because at the end of the day, they are, and it's not even related to asylum fear. They ask questions like, have you been driving without a work permit, or do you have a driver license? And if you don't have a driver license, then they're going to find a way for you to lie. So they're going to try to catch you in a lie. So they even look at the application and see if you're telling the truth. And that's why if your asylum application has been pending for a long time, you have no interview yet, in some ways that could be a good thing, because you have the time to hire an attorney. Okay, you have the time to hire an attorney for asylum, because this is a big deal. Now the catch-22 here is that if you've been waiting a long time, more than 3 years, and you want your status and things have changed, like, for example, like in China, the one-child policy is no longer, they don't have that policy anymore. And if your reason for leaving was based on that, in the legal world, we call that moot. Like the reason for your asylum departure is different now. So is no longer there. So that's why it's important for you to have your interview sooner than later, because if something's happened in your country, and let's say for some reason it changed from a communist country to a democratic country, then the U.S. government can say, well, you can go back to your country now. There's no issues there anymore. So that's why it's important to have an interview sooner than later. So anyway, that was a long tangent about this bill proposal about having these regional centers for processing immigration cases. So that'd be very helpful. Okay, friends, I'm going to share the not so secret code, because if you are just tuning in for the first time, I want to share with you this code. And I'm going to get to your questions right after this. But here it is. We do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion, maybe even figure out strategy for you. But if you have a lot of facts, of course, it will take a longer time. Then we do request you to sign up and schedule a paid consultation. It'll be worth your time. But if you just have, if you're just maybe not looking for a lawyer, for example, and you just want to be pointed in the right direction, we're happy to do that. Okay. Maybe it's something like you need to calculate your CSPA age. We're happy to do that. Okay. But we do need certain information. So our CARES team Usually if you fill out the intake form down below, or if, we'll call you within 24 hours of business day, or if you do call in, our cares team will ask you specific questions. And we do need the petition, okay, the I-130 petition approval notice, or at least the receipt notice, and so we can verify those dates for your CSPA, all right? So it does take a little time, but our team will qualify you to see if you have a chance to speak with one of our attorneys. All right, so now to answer your question. Oh, I should have made this larger. Okay. Because my screen is a little bit forward. Hi, how's it going? I know there's more comments before. I'm getting used to this Apple mouse. Okay, here's the first comment. Hi, love. How many photos do you need to take to your medical exam for the small pictures? I think you mean the passport size photos. It could be different for other countries. I would bring 4 at least, just in case, but it has to be current. Okay, so if you find old photos from the past, passport size 2" by 2", don't use that, especially if you use that before for immigration, because they will ask like, oh, we see the difference here. So clearly this second set of photos is not within the last 30 days. So I've heard people try to use old photos. So yeah, just spend the extra couple dollars to get that done. Okay. And then love, I see you have other. Okay. Yeah, that's the same question, I think. So hopefully I answered your question, but you might want to check your consulate page. I think if I remember, love, I think you're the petitioner. So if your fiance, check your consulate page. Okay. But usually it's the same. All right. We got next question here. Yeah, it's great to hear that news. Nice to see you. Sorry if I don't say your name. I just can't read it. My vision is not as good. Let's see here. You're working with, I think your name is Bharat. Welcome. You're working as a manager, hotel hospitality. Are you eligible for essential worker? This is one of those I like to call $1 million question. I personally believe anything related to tourism, hospitality should be considered essential worker, including restaurant workers, taxi cab type, Uber, Lyft type drivers. But there's still no definition, okay? And even if someone proposes a definition, we'll share that with you. But even if they do that initially, I bet you that Republicans are going to try to make that list smaller, okay? So there might be a reason why no Democrat has specifically defined what essential worker is, and they're trying to wait till the last second. And I wouldn't be surprised by that. Okay. Let's see here. So next question, but stay tuned, okay, my friend? Hey, John. Adita, I think name is. I'm just looking at my screen here. You finally got your biometrics. Great for your U visa derivatives. Okay, yes, you are Adita. I remember. Yes, with the fingerprint cards, perfect. Yeah, we had to do the same. The consulates are closed though, and like I said, can we take our FD 258? Yeah, the fingerprint cards to private companies and send them back. That's what I would do. That's what we did, and we haven't had any issue yet. I think last time I talked to you about that was maybe 1 or 2 months ago. So at that time, we had just done that for a client, and so far we haven't received any pushback on that. So I would get that done as soon as possible. Really, because they're literally just putting the finger down. There's no like authorized, you're putting the finger down on the ink pad and putting that on that card, FD card. And so even when we send fingerprint cards to the FBI, they don't require any like government official to certify it or anything like that. So it should be fine. I would send that off as soon as possible. How's it going? Let me know. Drop in the comments. If you're a parent. If I hope you've been able to overcome this pandemic with children. I know it's tough, especially my friends that have teenagers. They tell me the difficulty, especially with school. Sammy Sosa, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. When can we expect immigration reform? Yeah, that's the $1 million question, my friend. And like I said earlier, I was expecting back in earlier this year that it could happen in August. So we're getting there. We're getting there, okay? The wheels are churning. We're getting there, my friends. And we will definitely keep you updated. Okay. Robin, USCIS sent U visa derivatives biometrics appointment to your address instead of a broad address. Yeah, so you're just gonna have to send it to those cards. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. You sent the USS letter with street to request to change it. If you're just talking about like the SASC notice, then just email it to your family members, okay, abroad, and see if they can go to the appointment, okay. Because if what I understand your question to be is if you requested USCIS to change it, you're asking them to send the biometrics to your, I wouldn't depend on that. I mean, it's good that you sent a written request. In general, you definitely need to do that. Just in general, if you're like trying to reschedule an interview or something, but for biometrics, usually they're scheduled within 30 days of receiving a notice. And I'd be very surprised if USCIS sent you a new notice, but directly to the to your derivatives, your family members. If time is short, I would just email it or mail it off yourself. Okay. Oh, my internet went out for a second. Okay. So, friends, hopefully we'll have another video that talks more specifically about the immigration, the reconciliation budget resolution bill. And so stay tuned on that because we'll go into more detail. This video today, or this show today was more about, this immigration news in general. And oh, by the way, we might have a Texas person, the sheriff in Harris County, Ed Gonzalez. He is going to be up for a vote for ICE Director position, and all he needs is a simple majority. Okay, so that's 50+1. So Kamala Harris will be a tiebreaker. Whether he's a good person or not, but I've heard good things, and I've heard a couple not so good things. So we'll see what Congress does. But by paper, online, it shows that he's more of a moderate, or he's trying to show that he's more moderate so that Republicans can vote for him. So hopefully it's a sign of good things. And meaning ICE, at least for me, in my perspective, ICE will be more humane and treat people with respect as they're trying to come into the U.S. Whether people or not, people need to be treated with respect. Okay, I absolutely believe that. Did I get another question? I think I did. Let me answer a couple more. Oh, no, USCIS sent the biometrics as if she was here. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, then in that case, I hope you submit the inquiry online, because I believe online at the uscs.gov website has that type of the request. Okay. So I think your previous comment said you mailed the letter, but look online. Okay. When you go to the main website, uscs.gov, I believe it's under tools, or even they have a live chat. I tried it myself the other day, the live chat with our friend Emma. It was a lot faster. Okay, so try that. If they give you a hard time, just be a little bit adamant. Sometimes Emma will give in. Okay. Hi, Ali. I think that's your name. Ali, I think I recognize your name from before. Hope you're doing well as well. If the reform passed for essential workers, do I think that international students will benefit from it if you've been working illegally? Okay. Well, I believe so. I mean, at least in the previous comprehensive reform bill, I think it was like HR 1 or SB Senate Bill 1. I might have the numbers wrong, actually, but the first comprehensive bill that was proposed in January. Okay. I believe it will, because it was just based on the date. If you were here before January 1st, 2021, which again, I believe that Republicans, if they finally give in, I believe they'll push it a little bit farther in the past, like let's say 2018 or something. So if you're recent entrant to the United States, I would definitely comply with the law. Okay, meaning if it's expired yet, I recommend leaving and coming back at a later time. Okay, I mean, hey, a lot of immigration lawyers on YouTube want to speak very highly of Congress. If you know me, you've been watching my episodes, I like to criticize them, and they are very slow. So I can't guarantee. Sorry if you hear the blender. Okay, the blender's off now. Okay, hopefully you didn't have to hear that. Anyways, if you know me now through these past episodes, you know that I'm very critical of politicians, even Democrats. Okay, doesn't matter what side it is. They like to talk the game, but we need to encourage them to get things done for you. Okay, so I hope that I'll leave that. I know I went on a tangent, but hopefully that answers the question now. Okay, but we'll definitely update you as soon as we get a little bit more concrete information. But still early. Manhat, you're waiting time for I-730 if you're in the U.S. currently. Okay, I believe that's related to asylum as a derivative. The last time I checked for that, I don't believe USCIS.gov has that posted on their website. So if it does, and I'll check, but if you don't mind, fill out the intake form down below so my team can remember. Okay, but I have to run to a consultation now. I want to say thank you very much for tuning in, and until next time, you know what to do. Please continue wearing your mask, and if you're tuning in for the first time from to then, I greatly appreciate it. Go ahead and smash the like button, give us some love, tell us how you're doing, and so please make a comment and subscribe if you're new. And talk to you soon. Care.